really great to be here with Jim Ramstad. You know, Jim, and how bipartisan all of this is. You know, Jim was such a good friend of Paul Wellstone, whose seat I am honored to be in. And Paul used to say that Paul was in the Democratic wing of the Democratic Party. I like to think of Jim Ramstad as in the Democratic wing of the Republican Party. So I want to congratulate Twin Cities Habitat for being selected to host President and Mrs. Carter. The Carters have been a voice of conscience throughout the years, and we're so honored to have them here in the metro area. It's also great to see Chris Coleman here, and the mayor of the city, some of you may be familiar with. The next thing, by the way, the Habitat for Humanity people are going to do is build a venue with better acoustics. But we're all here today because affordable housing is the foundation of our communities, and the reality is that the current foreclosure and unemployment crises have shaken that foundation to its core. But in the midst of these challenges, Twin Cities Habitat has been a point of light in our state. Habitat has been working hard to revitalize neighborhoods in North Minneapolis and East St. Paul. That was the city I was trying to think of. East St. Paul, or the east side of St. Paul. Areas that have been especially hard hit. I want to thank all of the Habitat volunteers. Let's hear it for them. We're working so hard this week on the Jimmy and Rosalind Carter Work Project, and each of you who do the work all year round. The gift of your time and effort are so valuable because Minnesota families here in the Twin Cities throughout greater Minnesota need our help. Every week I hear from constituents who are facing foreclosure and or just can't find affordable housing. The stories from across the state are a call to action for all of us, and you're doing your part, the volunteers, by volunteering with Habitat, and it's my job to be Habitat's voice in Washington. And that's why I proposed creating the Office of the Homeowner Advocate, which has won broad bipartisan support in the Senate. It passed in the Senate, I'm happy to say, with 63 votes. This office will be a resource for homeowners who are trying to get loan modifications through the government's HAMP program so that they can stay in their homes. I work closely with Twin Cities Habitat to craft the legislation, and they help lobby members of the Senate. I'm happy to say, 7 Republican votes on that one. And it's gotten caught up in some procedural maneuvers, but hopefully it will become law in the lame duck session after the election. I've also been calling for ample funding for affordable housing programs, and just last week I demanded that the federal government thoroughly investigate the mortgage servicing scandals that are happening across our country. We need to keep working together on all of these fronts, funding affordable housing, fighting fraud, and supporting homeowners to stay in their homes. By staying strong and staying united, I'm hopeful that our families and our communities will begin to rebound from the challenges that we are facing today. You are all beginning a life-changing week, a week of giving back and making a real difference in the lives of your fellow Minnesotans. And being here today reminds me yet again why I'm so fortunate to represent this great state in the United States Senate. The Carter Work Project brings out the incredible spirit of volunteerism that is already so strong in our state. It makes me proud to see all of you here, because the work that you'll do this week not only has an immediate positive impact in our communities, it also reminds us that we must never stop, never give up. never keep quiet on the issue of creating communities in which everyone can afford to live. Because the fact is that the dream of home ownership doesn't come true without hard work, determination, and community support. And our next speaker understands that better than anyone. Yolanda Kinchlow is a proud mother, and member of a family and mother of 2 sons, Taylor and Dane. She's been struggling with health issues for a long time, and the poor housing conditions that she and her boys were living in were making everything worse. These are respiratory problems. But all that is about to change because Yolanda is participating in the Habitat for Humanity home ownership program and is the proud soon-to-be owner of one of the homes that will be completed this week through the Carter Work Project.